And good morning, everyone. Right out of the gate, I had a spammer. Isn't that fun? Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Hello, everyone. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Goode. Welcome to the blog today. Quick update on our short-term and, of course, you guys know I love to talk about the long-term setup and all the fun and games that come along with it. And this update will have, you know what? Here's the thing. I keep saying this. You know, I got the winter forecast. It's ready to sort of go, mostly ready for Halloween night to be issued. And I keep saying I'm not going to give you guys any nuggets and say much more about some of the data hints that I'm seeing. But today I'm going to give you a little bit. So if you tuned in just to hear something about the long term, then you tuned in on a good day, because I got some information to share. And I'll give you just a few nuggets on it. Then I'll have to just wait and go into more detail once the blog and the forecast comes out, because otherwise there's no full context to it. But you guys are like, you're my snow lovers. Most of you are. And I want to make sure you guys get as much info as you can. All right. So more on that coming up in a few minutes. We got to get through the short term. There's a few issues, too, that we got to address for later this week into the upcoming weekend that we've got to sort out before we even think about looking at the long term. Right. Good morning, everyone. I see everyone's comments. Good morning, Angela. As always, you guys can comment on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on YouTube. Your comments will flash up on here. For those of you watching on streaming or on Roku or Fire Stick, you're not able to see the comments until you see the playback maybe later today. Then you will see it. Otherwise, you're not able to. So in order to chat on social media, you have to be on the social media side. Okay, so let's dive into the current sky condition. Oh, man, yeah, this is kind of the bummer, right? Mostly cloudy again. We've seen a few little hints of blue that have tried to form this morning, but this is a moisture layer that is trapped about a mile up from the atmosphere, and it just is tough to break. And that's not uncommon in our area, especially the Ohio River Valley. Moisture like this, it just needs a good kick to kind of break things up a little more. And the lower sun angle this time of the year, as we move further along through October, it's harder for the sun to try to do its job in breaking things up. So that's the reason why the winter months tend to look like this. More as the summer days, you end up with more of a sunnier sky, and partly sunny because the sun has so much of a kick to it with a higher sun angle. But this time of the year and all the way through really April, it just becomes a challenge. So anytime we see these scenarios show up in our outlook and in the weather setup for the day, we tend to lean more toward a cloudier setup because they usually do linger longer than we want them to. And they're so low. In fact, this is a look at the satellite, visible satellite. Typically, your bright white clouds will show up from space when they're a little more grayish looking. This is, of course, not getting full sun yet because the sun's still rising, but you get the idea that it's still relatively low and shallow layer of cloud cover. This is a wild day. Dan, I saw that you're flying a few moments ago. You're at the airport right now. This is one of those days where you fly and you get through that cloud layer. It doesn't take long after liftoff, by the way, as soon as you get above that cloud layer, and it's just beautiful. Blue sky up there. And then you got that cloud layer, like a sea below you. You guys that have flown know what I'm talking about. It's one of the more cool things about flying is when you have those kind of moments. And this, almost like the marine layer in California would be. But a very similar setup here today where we've got low clouds. And there's still some hints of drizzle. I had some raindrops on my windshield on my way in today. So there are hints of it there in Breckenridge County into Meade County. So it's possible, but not as widespread as we saw yesterday. It's just that Makes sense. You're going to get a little bit of drizzle out of some of these clouds. All right. It is keeping us cool. So those of you who love the cool fall weather, this is perfect weather for you. You can see how it's all trapped into the valley areas of the Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee area region. And it's just kind of sitting there at the moment. You can see the higher elevation on this map shows up pretty well. You got the mountains in northern Georgia into the Smokies, and you do have a higher elevation and parts of the area of Tennessee. Of course, it drops again down toward the Mississippi River, but you do have a little more of a hilly setup at times in this area of Tennessee and Kentucky. But you can certainly see it's all just trapped right in that spot. And on the windward side here of the mountain chains and the Appalachians there, on the leeward side, you get much more of a drier air scenario, so the clouds are gone on the other side of the mountains there. So it's kind of a cool shot today. So what about the cloud cover? Well, yeah, other than maybe a hint or two of some blue that will show up, you'll get a few sun rays. Like, yes, it's trying. And you're right, it is trying, but it will likely fall back to a cloudier setup. The game plan, though, is to allow more of these breaks to become a little more prevalent toward the late afternoon. We should start to see more of a fight. We saw that for a little while yesterday afternoon near sunset. We may see the same scenario again today. And if you get sunshine, it will make a difference of temperatures into the 60s, like 61, 62, 63, versus if you're socked in on the clouds, 55 to 58 will be your high today. And Louisville's probably going to be splitting the difference on that, the way it's looking right now. What was it, Angie? You're still the Smokies, right, Angie? You're already back. I can't remember what you said, but a little over 3 inches of snow in the Smokies. It was early. It was all elevation snow, about 5,000 feet yesterday. Yeah, we were talking about that, and even some ice that formed on all the roads there and the power lines, just what we would call the rime ice. Pretty wild. All right, for us, though, let's move on to the game plan here on Futurecast. I'll show you how the clouds do show that erosion. Models, again, tend to go a little faster than they really should in this scenario, but you get the idea that clouds will begin to evaporate away. Once we see that happen, then it will be a chilly night tonight. It's been chilly the past couple of days, but you'll really feel the cold tomorrow morning. Don't see it right now. It gets a point of frost. Some valley areas, I wouldn't rule it out. We could get some 37, 38s, but right now we're thinking 40 or higher will be the likely trend there. Tomorrow looks good. Tomorrow still looks to be the pick of the week, where we're going to have temperatures right around 70 or so. You're going to have some high clouds. These are not low clouds. These are high-level clouds. So that will be a little bit of a change in the sky condition, but overall, a nice-looking day for Wednesday. Thursday, we're back at it again. Another storm system moves in, and we're going to be dealing with rain right out of the gate on this one. In fact, by the time you wake up, head off to work and school on Thursday, we will have a band of rain around. It will also be windy. The wind's going to be strong at times on your Thursday. That will allow, once we get past the morning rain, that wind will easily allow us to get into the 70s. And then another round of rain as the second wave starts to develop south of Kentucky. So there's two different pieces. I'll show you a different map in a second. There's a piece to the north, piece to the south, where they're both trying to kick together. That's where we're going to see a bit of enhancement on rainfall. It still looks like that's going to be just south and east of wave country. We would see that blow up, if you will, of heavier rain and thunderstorms. Right now, we're thinking we'll be too far away, but still we'll get the rain from it, which will carry over into Thursday night into Friday. And then after that, we should see a little bit of a break. All right, here's that model data again that we look at kind of in a numerical form. And I just want to show you guys the wind speed again. This is going to be picking out the winds as we head into your Thursday. You see it's got gusts right now coming in of 30, 34 miles per hour Thursday morning into the afternoon hours. This is the time frame for Thursday. Maybe a little high on that. It doesn't surprise me, but Louisville especially tends to go a little higher on wind than other surrounding spots. So I do think we're going to see a windy scenario under advisory level as it looks now for Thursdays. But just want to make sure you keep in mind that it will be quite breezy outside. So the issue on Friday is going to be the continuation of the two lows. Again, one here. They're going to merge together into basically one bigger low that will kind of just overtake both of them and dominate once again from the Jersey Shore all the way to the coast of Maine. As that happens, it's going to pull away most of the moisture away from us from these two lows to where Friday will be an improving day, and so will Saturday. The problem here on Saturday and Sunday is we have a clipper that is going to round the low pressure itself in the northeast. So here's your big low here. Here comes the clipper diving right down through here. Now, here's the problem. Will it take an angle through, say, Chicago, Gary, Indiana, Fort Wayne, Kokomo, or will it dive a little more toward Evansville and Louisville and Jackson, Kentucky? This is where the GFS, the Euro, do not agree right now. The Euro likes the more northern track, which means it'll be faster to move through on Saturday afternoon and night, leaving us alone. The GFS likes tracking through Kentucky, which would influence maybe a rain shower chance on Sunday. So for those of you that have weekend plans, expect changes on that. One I was talking about this morning for you all, expect the full setup again this weekend. We're going to see some adjustments there. We need to get some higher res data to see the overall idea of the path. It really just depends on how far east this low swings. Once it develops into one big low, it will kind of get its act together and kind of swing out in form. If it swings too far out to the east, you could end up with a Euro idea of a northern track. If it swings a little more toward Maine, it would force it more to the south, like the GFS is saying. So it's really the piece in Maine that we got to figure out, and we just need a little more time on that. But nothing major. Just be aware there will likely be some adjustments to the weekend once we get that all hashed out. After that, well, get ready. It's going to get warmer, quite a bit warmer. We're going to see the nation flip. East Coast gets warm. West Coast is going to be hot, by the way, this week. We're talking about 90s, developing the next few days, getting hot. Then the West Coast is going to get back to a reality for them of cold weather, mountain snow, and I think we're going to be facing severe weather into the plains. This is interesting. Let me back this up. This will actually be, you can't tell from this map. Let me replay it, actually. Hold on one second. It's better if I just do it this way. Down toward the Baja Peninsula, there will be a tropical system. I don't know if it'll get to a hurricane status or not, but right here, do you see that in the bottom left corner? That is actually going to feed right into the plains and will likely feed a low pressure, become extra tropical pretty quick. That could easily produce some severe weather in the plains and then race off to the northeast. But there is a chance this thing moves so fast, I don't know if we're going to get much here as far as any rain in our area, but we will certainly get warmer flow of air to come through. Hi, Myra. Hi, you doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can say hi. It's St. Patrick's Day. Say hi to everybody.
Is it St. Patrick's Day? I like the velvet.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, I'm done. I've got it 10 o'clock.
She got 10 o'clock. All right. So I got 5 minutes, guys. I got to hurry. Actually, 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, because I got to.
Yeah. All right. I will do it real fast here. Once that passes by, we will have, again, a nice warm spell. I wouldn't even roll out 80 degrees in this kind of a setup. Yeah, quite warm. So that's where the numbers will trend. 60s this weekend. Next week, several days of 70s, and maybe some rain or thunder toward the end period. One of the things I'm going to be watching as we head into Halloween and thereafter is up here across the North Pole area. Will we get the polar vortex to do what we call a stretching? And that sounds fun, right? It's basically where you're going to end up with cold air evolving across Canada all the way over into Siberia. If they can connect, you can get some cold shots of air to drop down. There is a chance to see that near Halloween or just after. And I'm also seeing that opportunity, whether it's mid-November or Thanksgiving, it's already beginning to show up in the longer range data. It's interesting stuff. And even the latest long-term Euro, this is the snow potential for mid to late November. Starting to see more and more signals there. Isn't that exciting? That's it. No more. You can't see more of that. I'll have more on this coming up in the winter forecast, of course, on Halloween night. All right, there's your nuggets for today. I'll have more soon, guys. Behave yourselves, and I will see you guys on the flip side.